Okay, last but not least, we're going to do Czech, which is a little bit tricky, but not too bad. Um, I've got my barbecue going here in front of me, so hopefully the smoke does not waft in front of my face as we go. But if it does, now you know. There's smoke in the air too, forest fires from wherever. The world's burning up, but we're still alive, so let's work on it. So we got Czech, which is a Slavic language, and some of these forms are translated in terms of like present versus future tense. There's actually a form of the verb in Czech which is common amongst a lot of Slavic languages, which is called the perfective, and that's kind of really what's going on here, but we'll just translate it as the future. So let's start breaking these down. So we've got nesu, which is I carry. Which part of that is I, which part of that is carry. We can look at other forms that differ from that. So they carry is neso, this one here. So the nes part is the same between the two of them. Here's another one, I will carry, ponesu. So there's nes there still, and then he carries is nese. So I think we can start off by saying, well, nes or nes is the carry part of that. It looks like we're adding the kind of pronouns at the tail end there, just to make it clear. The u part of I carry is I, and then like for he, the a part at the end is nese, is the he. We saw one other one here, so they carry is o at the tail end, and we'll put that there. Yeah, so we're on our way. We can look at a few others, like yedu is I drive, so that seems to indicate that yed is drive. We saw this before, ponesu is I will carry, compared to nesu is I carry, so we can kind of surmise that will is po, like that. Look at a few others, he drives, he carries. That kind of matches up with what we saw before. Do we have any other? So he will drive is pojede, that seems to work okay. We have another one, he will drive away. So this is interesting. So he will drive as pojede, and he will drive away as odiede. So we're losing the po there, even though we said that means will, but we're adding away. And the only other thing that could mean away here is this ode at the very beginning. So we've got kind of an interesting case here where sometimes the will seems to be explicitly surfaced, seems to make itself explicit on the surface, and in other cases it doesn't. We can look at this. Well, that one's a little complicated. We kind of aren't quite there yet. Let's take, say, I will lead away. Odvedu. We got that away again rather than the po for will, and we've got vedu, where we surmise that the u is I, so that means that ved would be lead. So that's a new verb. We lead is vedeme, so it looks like the we part of this is the eme at the tail end. I don't know if we can find any other forms that are like that. Like we will swim is eme. Again, at the end, we will bring here is eme at the end as well. Let's look at the rest of this. Po plaveme. So we've got the po again, where we expect it for will. We've got the eme for the we. It looks like plav is probably the root for swim. So we're almost done with the verbs here. We can kind of contrast that with prineseme. We will bring here. We've got the we part for the eme. We've got the bring part for nes. It looks like nes for bring is the same thing as nes for carry. Do we see any other forms like that? Yeah, prinese, he will bring here. But we're not getting here for, in here, is the po for the future again. So it looks like here is pri. Those are the only two forms. There's a couple other here. Priplavesh, prijedo. They will drive here, you will swim here, so on and so forth. So here is functioning a little bit like a way. Those are, locations is what I'm calling them here. You can think of them maybe as like sentential adverbs or prepositions if you want to. I'm not going to dig into that too far, but just note that when they appear in these forms, the po part of that is going away for the future, and these kind of indicate future by themselves, as it were. So it's a little complicated. If they aren't there, then you get po. If they are there, then you don't have to have the po, and they still mean something in the future. So what else do we have to worry about? We got the two forms for you, singular and plural. So the singular, you will swim here, pri plavesh. It looks like esh is our singular you, and we've got a couple forms for you, plural, povedete. So ete looks like it's the form for you plural, we see that again in you will swim away, so on and so forth, just to make sure. You carry away, odneseš, we get esh again. So it looks like this is how our basic morphemes line up. And so the trick here again is that when we get an explicit tense marker in Czech, we put that in front. If there's a location marker, we put that there as well. Maybe I can sort of prioritize this by doing it like this, location over tense, but they're in the same spot, but not together. And then after that, we get a verb, and then we get a marker for each pronoun. Yeah, I think we've seen enough examples of that. So now we know how to translate these guys. He will swim, so he's not swimming away or here or anything like that, so that should be po for the will, and then we get plav for the swim, and then e for the he. They drive away, maybe I'll put that in brackets just for fun, and then for they drive away, we'll give ourselves a little bit of space there. Away is going to be od, drive is going to be yed, and they is going to be o, odyedo. Yep, so we don't have to explicitly state either the future or what have you, as long as we have away. It's going to kind of be the same regardless. You lead away, we'll assume that's the singular you. We get od again. We get ved for lead, and then odvedesh for you, singular, lead away. And then lastly, I will bring here, we get pri for here, and then bring is nes, and u is the singular form of the verb, or the singular pronoun at the tail end of that. And I think that's all you need to worry about for this one, and there's that one little trick in it. So we get a little bit of, I guess you could say, allomorphy in terms of pull. Sometimes it appears, sometimes it doesn't appear. That's how this small set of Czech works. All right, so if you ever go to Prague, now you know how to say, I will lead away. See you guys next time.